Just like when adding fractions, subtracting fractions, you must have a common denominator before you can actually subtract the fraction. Okay, let's get started on some examples. Two-fifths minus 1/5. First thing I check is if the denominators are the same. If the denominators are the same, we can go ahead and move on with our subtraction problem. I started off with an easy one, so this one they do have common denominators, so we're going to simply subtract the numerator. 2 minus 1 is 1, and then we just keep the original denominator, which is 5. So 2/5 minus 1/5 is 1/5. Started off with an easy, now let's go a little harder. Let's try 8/9 minus 3/5. As you can see, I wrote this problem up and down versus my normal horizontal that I like to use. When adding or subtracting fractions that have different denominators where we need to find a common denominator in order to subtract, I like to write them vertical because it gives me more space to do my problem. So right now I'm checking and I see that 9 and 5 are not the same, so we do not have a common denominator. We need to find a common denominator. In order to find a common denominator, we use our least common multiple. So we want to find the least common multiple of 9 and 5. Let's just do it right here, 9 and 5. Multiples of 9, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, okay. Now let's do our multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. I'm going to stop because I can see that I have 45 on this list and 45 on this list. I don't see any others that are more least, so the least common multiple between 9 and 5 is 45. Since we found the least common multiple, we found our new denominator, 45. Once we find our common denominator, we can then proceed by finding what our numerators are going to be in the problem. So 5 times what gives me 45? 5 times 9 gives me 45. So we're going to do this one. Whatever I do to the bottom, I always have to do the top fraction. So 5 times 9, so 3 times 9. And 3 times 9 is 27. Okay, 9 times 5 gives me 45, so I'm going to times 45 by this one. So we have 40 here. 8 times 5 is 40. Now, since we have common denominators and our two fractions, we simply subtract the numerators to get our answer. So 40 minus 27, 40 minus 27 is 13. So we have 13 45ths as our answer. I looked at this, I'm checking to see if it's reduced, and it looks like it's in reduced form to me.